Life on the Rez, It's Not What You Think, by Shanice Britton. Today, 566 Native American tribes and about 5.2 million Native Americans live in the United States. Roughly 30% of Native Americans live on reservations, land given to them and protected by the U.S. government. So what's it like to be a kid living on a reservation? Here is one 17-year-old's experience. When people find out I am Native American, they have all these ideas about what that means. That I live in a teepee and wear moccasins and a headdress, but those are misconceptions. I grew up on the Round Valley Indian Reservation in Cabello, California, where 7 Native American tribes live, including the 5 that I am a part of: Wailaki, Yuki, Pomo, Concow, and Nomalaki. We live in houses with electricity and running water. I take showers, watch Finding Carter on MTV, and wear jeans, just like any other teen. There are paved roads and a grocery store, a gas station, and restaurants. It is a place that is an hour from the nearest town, so there is a community feel. Everyone knows everyone, and that has always made me feel comfortable. It's like we are one big family, and we support each other, which is awesome. If there's a basketball game at our high school, everyone comes to watch. If there aren't enough seats, people stand. What is special is that my reservation is surrounded by mountains and a river. I live on 5 acres, and my family owns 23 animals: 10 chickens, 4 goats, 4 dogs, 3 cats, a guinea pig, and a horse. We eat eggs from the chickens and use manure from the animals to fertilize the soil. We have a vegetable and fruit garden. Living on the reservation has instilled in me a love for nature. I also hunt and fish. It's a tradition that's been passed down from generation to generation. When I fish, I gig in a dam by standing on a riverbank and poking fish with metal prongs as they swim by. When hunting for deer, my tribes encourage us to keep 2 things in mind. Never shoot a doe, because she might be pregnant. And if you hunt a deer, use all of the deer. In other words, we're not wasteful. We eat anything that we kill. In fact, my family loves to make deer meat stew and deer jerky, which is delicious. Another thing that elders in my tribe taught me is how to weave and do beadwork. I make earrings and barrettes that I'll give to female family members on their birthdays. I even made my brother's first rattle. Passing down traditions is important, because if we don't, those parts of our culture may disappear. For instance, there's a tribal language that we sometimes use. My aunt spoke it really well, and I wanted her to teach me, but sadly she passed away. So I try to pick up as much as I can when I hear it used during tribal ceremonies. When I hear stories about people like Captain Pratt, who made Native Americans abandon their culture, it makes me sad to know that my ancestors had to go through that. It must have been so hard. Knowing that scary history makes me feel even more responsibility to preserve the traditions of my tribes. My tribes have 2 big ceremonies each year. One is in the spring, big time, and another is in the fall, Indian Days. During these events, we invite members of our tribes to sing, dance, and beat drums around a bonfire. Many of the performers wear regalia. Women wear long skirts with printed designs and sleeveless tops. Men wear white tights, no shirts, and headbands, and put feathers down their backs. Now that I'm in college at the University of California, Davis, life feels so different. On my reservation, I was surrounded mostly by natives, and at college, the native population is only 700%. So a lot of students here don't understand my culture. Some people think that all Native Americans have the same culture, but I explain that each tribe has its own traditions. For instance, dances can be different, ceremonial outfits vary, and certain tribes learn how to hunt particular types of animals, like buffalo or deer, depending on where they live. But teaching my classmates about that stuff doesn't bother me. I'm happy to answer their questions, and it's interesting to learn about their cultures too. I'm trying new types of food here. I recently had sushi for the first time. I like the kind with rice and cooked salmon. I did bring some deer jerky to my dorm room because it's familiar and reminds me of home. Sometimes my classmates will tell me that I talk differently because I'll say something in slang from the res, but that's okay. It's a part of who I am. I'm not trying to hide that. In fact, I often wear my beadwork jewelry proudly around campus. The biggest thing for me to get used to about college is that it's huge. There were only 25 people in my high school's graduating class. There are thousands in my freshman class at college. It's scary, but it's also exciting to be around people who value education. I am determined to become a veterinarian because there is no vet on my reservation. If an animal gets sick, you have to drive an hour to get to a vet. Someday I will open a veterinary clinic on my reservation that will help my reservation prosper. I want to prove to my peers and my 3 younger siblings Shailena, 15, Bodie, 6, and Bane, 8 months, that you can go to college and be successful.